70s chick back here again, and I got a special surprise for you today. Instead of the normal half-hour album review I do, I am doing something very, I wonder if any of you have ever heard of this show back in the mid-70s. It was, of course, a kids show, and I look back and I think of, wow, how awfully bad it was, except for one little 15-minute segment that was included in the show. And I am talking about the Krofft Supershow, another spinoff of the 70s, the Sid and Marty Krofft enterprise. And it was it was a special. It was composed of 3 15-minute segments hosted by a manufactured band and a god-awful one called Kaptain Kool and the Kongs. And the lead guy, of course, was Kaptain Kool. And and I don't know where they came up with some of the names for these characters. Now, I can understand Super Chick, but then there was a character, another female character named Nashville, another one named Turkey, who was a turkey, and one for the season 1 was a character called Flatbush. He was the only cool one besides Super Chick on the show. He wore these high shoes, and he would kind of walk and fall. And the character who played Flatbush was named Bert Summer, and he was actually he had something a lot to do with the in Woodstock. I think he played there, and he wrote songs about it. One of them is called let's see. There was the song, I can't really remember the name of it, but he, like I said, he was a performer, and he had several albums that were released, and he had one that hit the top, actually number 48 on the Billboard chart, which wasn't too shabby. It was called "We're All Playing in the Same Band." And yeah, he was an American folk singer, songwriter, and actor. And he also appeared in the movie Hair, and he appeared at the Woodstock Festival, and he released several albums as a singer-songwriter. I saw the Woodstock Festival, just about all of it, and I don't recall seeing him there, unless it probably just slipped my mind. But yeah, so he was only there for season 1. And it was the group, the Kaptain Kool and the Kongs group, they were a manufactured introduction. They were a manufactured band that was responsible for hosting the show and introducing the other live action segments and performing skits and songs, which are god awful. The intro, I'm going to actually play you the intro. You can find these on YouTube, but I'm going to show you the intro on the first season. Let's see, Krofft Supershow. Yeah, I don't have this fancy schmancy. I'm not tech savvy, so I don't know how to go back and do pictures, and I've got to learn that somewhere. I don't know if it's PowerPoint, but if anybody of you can tell me, and I just had no patience to learn it, so I've been trying to learn Excel, more in-depth Excel, how to do spreadsheets, and some QuickBooks, because I'm still hunting for a job. So everybody say prayers for me that I find one soon. Okay, Krofft Supershow intro. Okay, intro. All right, opening credits. All right, hold on. Let me see if this is a 1976 one. Hold on. Hold on. Oh, here we go. Oh my God. I do believe this was 1976. I'm not sure, but here we go. Let's play it. Hold on. Let's see if you can see that. Oh my God. Funky, I like the music though. There's Super Chick. God. Kaptain Kool. Yeah, I loved this back when I was 8, 9, and 10. God, how tacky.
Kaptain
Kool and the Gongs.
Hi, kids. Super Chick here. Hi, Turkey here. And Flatbush is here.
That's Bert Summer. Okay, I'll spare you that. But yeah, that's the that was the highlight of my childhood, one of them. And they were filmed. You know, you could see they were a wacky glam rock band, and they were It was filmed at the short-lived World of Sid and Marty Krofft indoor amusement park in Atlanta. Maybe that's why. Oh no, that's Georgia. Hello, I was thinking of Nashville. And for season 2, their image was toned down and they were downsized from a 5-person band to a 4-person band. And their season 2 segments were filmed in a studio with an audience of children. And a little known fact that most of the songs were written by the Osmonds after they were replaced afterward by the Bay City Rollers, who were really past their prime around 1978. And the group made appearances on other Sid and Marty Krofft shows, including Donnie and Marie, the Brady Bunch Variety Hour, which I remember that one too, and the Krofft Comedy Hour. They also made an appearance on Dick Clark's American Bandstand, and they starred in 2 primetime TV specials featuring previews of ABC's Saturday morning lineup. Really? They were, wow. They were that much in demand. That really blows my mind. But there's the season one was from 1976 to 1977. Those segments were Dr. Shrinker, Electro Woman and Dyna Girl, and Wonderbug, which was my favorite. I'm going to save that one for last. That was my favorite. And there was reruns of a program called The Lost Saucer for the first half of the season, which I never remember ever seeing it. That was dropped when the show was cut from 90 minutes to 1 hour. And for season 2, which was 1977 to 78, Dr. Shrinker and Electro Woman and Dyna Girl were replaced with Bigfoot and Wild Boy and Magic Mongo. Woo! I think my friend Lee, are you here, Lee? Yes, you are. He goes, woo! And of course, he did some kind of hijinks whenever there was trouble afoot. And I don't remember. I remember watching, but I don't remember the whole antics. The one I remember the most, of course, is Wonderbug. And yeah, I knew you would like that one, Lee. And I was thrilled when they kept Wonderbug. And one of the characters named Susan, she had this blonde hairdo, and it was flipped back, which I try to do, but my hair's not short enough, and I don't really want it short. And it stayed nice and flipped back through the whole thing, and I was just amazed. And I idolized her. I thought she was so smart and pretty, and her ideas were she was always getting upstaged by Barry and Cece, who Barry would come out with a dumb idea, and Susan would say, well, yeah, how about we do this? And he says, there's no time for that, Susan. Hey, wait, I got a great idea. And he completely repeats Susan's idea. But then there was one time where she came up with a dumb idea. Barry came up with a smart one. She says, there's no time for that, Barry. Oh, wait, I got a great one. We can dress up as motor vehicle inspectors. That's a great idea, Susan. Slap me. And Barry's like, it's like, burn. Anyway, back onto the show. And like I said before, it was revamped. Instead of a 3rd installment, it was revamped to feature the then popular Bay City Rollers. But like I said, they were sort of, by 1978, they were past their prime here in the States, at least. And it was changed into the Krofft Superstar Hour. Kaptain Kool, the Kongs, were replaced by the Rollers, which actually, you know, the Rollers, of course, were like the tartan-clad glitter and glam rock band, which I never got into, but believe me, they're a much welcome change than Kaptain Kool and the Kongs. And there were new live action segments that were filmed, and they were called Horror Hotel and The Lost Island, which replaced the older ones. And I actually got weary of this show once the previous segments were canceled. But, you know, what they say, good things must come to an end at some point. Well, we'll go into the show segments. The first one, they were all 15 minutes each. And this first one was called Dr. Shrinker. And he was an evil scientist who, with a lab, on an uncharted island. And when teenagers Brad, BJ, and Gordy are stranded on the island, Dr. Shrinker subjects them to his shrinker machine. They manage to escape the lab in miniature form. The series follows their adventures as they try to evade the clutches of the mad scientist and his assistant, Hugo. Hugo was played by the midget Billy Barty. I'm sure you know who he is. He was in a lot of movies, one of them being one of my favorites from 1978 called Foul Play with Goldie Hawn and Chevy Chase. He played the Bible dealer, and Goldie Hawn's character was terrified because they told her, beware of the dwarf, and she mistook him, and she's coming, and he's like, Miss Mundy, do you believe in life after death? Well, then she freaks out, and the poor guy, she starts beating him, and he fell from the apartment into a trash roller like a gasoline or janitorial drum, and then he ended up in the hospital. And she's, oh, I'm so sorry. And she goes to kiss him. He's like, oh, no. So yeah, that was the Dr. Shrinker episode. The next one was one that I liked because it was female superheroes, Electro Woman and Dinah Girl. And Electro Woman was played by none other than Deidre Hall, who must have been before she became a household name, because that must have been one of her low budget where she signed on to that. And, you know, some of these people, they get offered these really bad deals, but they figure it'll get them some exposure. And then the rest is history. But their names were Lori and Judy. Lori was Deidre Hall, and Judy was another actress whose name escapes me. But they were reporters for a newsmaker magazine, and they were secretly Electro Woman and Dinah Girl, and they would crime fight. They were crime-fighting superheroines, and they were assisted by their friend Frank Heflin, and they fought supervillains as the Pharaoh and Cleopatra, the Sorcerer, Glitter Rock, Alibaba, Spider Lady, and the Empress of Evil. And like I said, I remember, you know, I remember, like I said, a lot of them, of course, I remember, but there were some that I didn't really watch too much of, like Bigfoot and Wild Boy I didn't really care for. Dr. Shrinker was okay. And I actually watched Magic Mongo, and the teenagers were named Donald, Lorraine, and Christy. They find an old bottle, and they discover it's the home of a genie named Mongo. And Mongo's magical attempts to help his young masters lead to many wacky misadventures. When there was trouble, Magic Mongo would do the signature Indian solo, the Indian sounds, woo! But you know what? He didn't go, woo! It would have been hilarious if he did, right, Lee? So yeah, next one, Bigfoot and Wild Boy, which I didn't really care for. It was Wild Boy, who was orphaned in the Pacific Northwest, and he was found and raised by Bigfoot, which people still swear they see sightings. And I'm sorry, Bigfoot does not exist, people. He does not exist. I'm sorry. And of course, Bigfoot, you know, was the legendary man-beast of the forest, and the two worked together to fight those who would harm the forest. In 1979, ABC brought back the show as a standalone series by editing the 15-minute segments into 30-minute episodes. And the new episodes were also filmed and aired in the summer of 1979, which I had no idea, as I was already too old to be watching lame kids shows with god-awful bands. So yeah, that I had no idea. Just like the Krofft Supershow, I didn't know we're on American Bandstand, no less. Wow. And I saved, of course, the best for last, Wonderbug. And let me show you the Wonderbug intro here. I just played it for my brother. I sent him an email, a messenger. I said, do you remember this? And he doesn't remember. He remembers Zoom, that kid show, which I covered, that was from 1972 to 1978 on PBS public television broadcasting. And he was younger then. He doesn't remember this. But let's see, Wonderbug theme. Hold on, one moment. Wonderbug theme. Here we go. All right, hold on. Hope you can see. Schlep. I love Susan's hair. Yeah, of course. You know, they're in the junkyard and they find Schleppcar, and they found a magic horn that they found that when they put it on Schleppcar, he would change into, when they would do escape some villains or shady characters, and he would change into Wonderbug, and it would take off, either run people out of the way and they'd chase people, and they would go, what would they would do sometimes? They'd go in disguise and something would happen. They go, it's those kids again. Almost, it's like they were kind of spoofing off of Scooby-Doo, but in a different, in a different, kind of a different fashion, a little like the same, but in a different introduction, a different dialogue. But anyway, very, very interesting facts on the three actors on Wonderbug. David Levy is now a psychologist, and he has a Facebook page. Carol Ann Seflinger, who plays Susan, she has a Facebook page also, but she didn't really act. The only other movie she acted in was, of course, I think it was a low-budget film, and it was called Sweater Girls. And believe it or not, Sweater Girls was about a group of girls that vow to keep their virginity. And so they all wore the black sweaters, and they got this one girl who was like the school slut. And she said she wasn't going to put out anymore. So for initiation, she lures this guy on a date, and they start to make out, and he thinks he's getting lucky. Then she pushes him out of the car and takes off. That was her initiation. So that was the only movie she played in. And Cece, John Anthony Bailey, who was also known as Jack, I think his real name was Jack Baker, he actually got into porn, and he died in 2004 from kidney failure, and which was sad. And like I said, he took that route, and it's a shame. But yes, David Levy and Carol Ann Seflinger both have Facebook pages, and like I said, David Levy is now a psychologist. So I'm going to show you two parts of an episode from Wonderbug. Let's see here, Wonderbug. They have these, of course, on you can find them on YouTube, of course. But I like to share. Let's see, which one? The big game. Which, I kid you not. Horse Switch. This is one of my favorites. Let me skip the intro. I'll give you part of it. Okay, here we go. That's when they get captured. I remember this. Oh, wait, I want to go back to where they were first captured. Here we go.
We get a flashlight, some batteries, and a steamroller. Cece, yes, no. Why do we call Wonderbug? Hey, Cece, wait a minute.
Why do we call Wonderbug?
Why don't we just call Wonderbug?
Oh, God. And Barry always wore the 00 shirt. Wow, 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 wow. Oh my God. Oh my God, now it goes backwards. He has a.
Sometimes it's hard to believe that's the same car. We should find the sheriff and explain what happened. Girl, how are we going to explain what happened? We don't even know what happened ourselves.
I've been watching a lot of these now on my in my spare time when I'm not making videos and I'm not painting or yeah, I don't know if you saw that at all, Dana, back then, but that was one of the big programs back then was the Krofft Supershow. And yeah, pretty wacky. But yeah, that about wraps it up. Krofft Supershow, of course, the world of Sid and Marty Krofft. They dominated the 1960s and 1970s. The shows Sigmund and the Sea Monsters, which I covered. HR Puffin Stuff. Yeah, Puffin Stuff. They say, oh, it's not drug related. Bullshit. And of course the Krofft Supershow, and I think there was a number of them that I don't remember, but that wraps it up for the Krofft Supershow. And join me again on Friday afternoon at 2 p.m. for another half-hour album review, or actually it might be a little bit longer as it's kind of a compilation. So it'll be interesting. It really is, and it's a lot of obscure stuff, and you'll if you join me, you will see what it is and go from there. Again, like they say in the intro, don't get left behind. Okay, everybody have a great Wednesday. Bye.